Hey everyone, welcome back to Bird Talk with Terrence Mathis. I'm William Brandon. Please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel Atlanta Sports Unlimited and turn on those notifications so you don't miss an episode. We got a lot going on. A lot's going to
Oh
happen
man.
this week.
Oh man, this has been a fun week, man. This has been something, we talked last time we talked about just how different the NFL has become, with all the quarterback movements, I'm talking about franchise quarterback movements, potential franchise quarterback movements and whatsoever. And before we even get into the Falcons, you got to look around the league where Kansas City let go of their two starting tackles, their left tackle and their right tackle, who protects Patrick Mahomes. Maybe they see, because those guys were injured late in the year, and some young guys played well for them late in the year. Maybe they're saving money and saying, "Hey, we're going to invest into these young guys because they played well and it's cheaper."
Yeah.
At the end of the day. And then, even Kansas City has a choice. They got a problem with Sammy Watkins. What are you going to do with Sammy Watkins? If Sammy Watkins leaves, how do you answer that? And I'm just talking about some of the elite teams in the NFL right now. You look at Seattle, and we don't know, did did he ask for a trade? Did he demand a trade? We're talking about the quarterback, the franchise quarterback in Seattle, and his agent said he never did, but he was hypothetically, Wilson was hypothetically speaking. If you did want to trade me, here's the teams I want to go to,
Yeah.
and that's all. And then we in the media go, he wants out. But we know that one of them teams was the Dallas Cowboys, who just signed Dak Prescott. This is funny, this goes to the character of this man, Dak Prescott. For 2 years, he's tried to get a deal done. He gets hurt, had a season-ending injury, with one of the most horrific-looking injuries I've seen in years. And everyone was like, "Wow, they should have paid him his money a year ago. Blah blah blah. This may happen," but it costs the Cowboys more than if they would have did it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And no one is saying, "Oh, that's way too much for Dak Prescott. Why would they give him that much money?" This and that. The only person that kind of said something was their owner.
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, I think everyone is happy for this young man, because of the way he's handled his business. They felt bad for him after he hurt, tore up that ankle, broke that ankle, and everyone's happy for him. He gets his money. Now, I don't know how they fix their defense, but now everybody wants to see him play and play well. And we as I said, we're talking about elite teams in the NFL. Let's talk about the Super Bowl champions, who's in the same division as our Atlanta Falcons, the NFC South. They have a boatload of problems there.
Yeah.
Are they one and done? And it's hard. It's hard to repeat when you have these sort of, people say it's not a distraction. Yes, it is a distraction, because you want to go through that off season, everything's smooth, everybody's in place, everybody's focusing on the next job at hand, and that's repeat. But when you have so many big name guys that are free agents and there's not enough money to sign them back, uh, it becomes a distraction. And so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, we can't worry about everyone else. We got to worry about our birds and what they're doing. And right now, finally, they made some noise.
Yes.
They made some noise this week. Finally, they're gonna let Keanu Neal test the free agent market. That leaves you with no safety, no
Yeah,
safeties
because
on starting safeties coming back
Demonte,
this year.
yeah, Demonte KZ also
Yeah.
was told that they're not probably going to resign him either. So
Well,
only one left is Jalen Hawkins, who's a rookie of last year.
yeah. No, see, so now you got issues there. You restructured Jake Matthews' deal to try to get that number. We find out this week finally what that cap number of this year is going to be, is 182.5 million. We projected it at 185, which I think the Falcons would love it to be 185. That gives them extra, $2.5–3 million that they can use. But you know, all week, social media, wherever, even when you turn on TV, whatsoever, everyone is talking about that number 4 pick of the Falcons.
Mhm.
And you have some analysts say, why would you pick a quarterback there when you have a potentially future Hall of Fame quarterback sitting there that still have some arm strength and some savvy left in him? And then I hear the other argument, well, we draft the guy because Matt Ryan is not going to be there. He sits there, learns, and ready to step in when Matt Ryan decides to retire or when the Falcons retire Matt Ryan. And I agree both arguments are valid, but here's my thing. Here's my take on it. We don't have safety. We don't have an edge rusher.
Mhm.
We don't really have a tackle, left tackle, right tackle that we can really depend on that's going to protect whoever plays quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. So understand this. I'm just throwing it out there as a question. Are we ready for these Atlanta Falcons to win now, or are we trying to build for the next 2 or 3 years? So, because if we take a quarterback at number 4, and where we are cap wise, we're not able to sign anybody in the free agent market at all. I mean, we can't do it. We can't get a ready-made player to step in to project us as, first of all, division champions, then conference champions, then Super Bowl champions. So we got to be very, very careful with that 4th pick. So, do you go get a guy in free agency that comes off the edge? And everybody says we want a guy to sack the quarterback. The edge rusher is not just a quarterback sacker guy.
Yeah.
He has to play the run too. So we need a guy that can't get gashed because he's rushing upfield. And then also we need somebody in the back end, in the middle of the field, that's gonna stop balls from getting thrown over top. Yeah. And that's gonna fill gaps, fill the running lanes, and stop the run. If we can't do that, it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. We can put up 35, they're gonna put up 42. So
that's true.
So that's my question, and that's my debate. That's my take on that. So we got to be very, very careful when we say, hey, let's pick a quarterback at number 4, where I keep saying, let's get out of that 4th pick.
Yeah.
And let's move down or move out of the 1st round and get more picks, more quality picks that's going to build that roster for the future.
And speaking of picks, the Falcons did receive some compensatory picks for the players last year, like Vic Beasley. Falcons got 3 extra picks, 2 5th and 1 6th-round pick. So that's a little good news.
That's a little consolation. That gives you more on the roster, but you want 3s and 4s.
3s and yeah.
You want 3s and 4s because that's where those dudes are. That's where those dudes are that's gonna wear that chip on their shoulder, think they was a 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And they're gonna play for you, and then they're gonna play for a new contract. And there's nothing wrong playing with a new contract because that means you playing hard and you playing with a chip on your shoulder with a goal in mind, and that helps the football team.
And speaking of the free agency, the Falcons were originally at $14.2 million over, but after that Jake Matthews restructuring, it's down to $5.6 million. And what they did, they transferred his $13 million base salary into a signing bonus. Do you think they're going to do anything with the Matt or Julio contract, and should they?
Well, I don't know. Here's the take on all this. Here's 2 guys that's been in the league for a long, long time, and their window of opportunity to get that Lombardi trophy is closing. So you got to maximize right now their value and their worth for your football team. But if you want to restructure their deals, what tends to happen in a restructure, you can restructure in 1 or 2 ways, like it did Jake. put a bulk of it in a signing bonus or in guaranteed money, and the length of the contract doesn't move. Or you can still do the same things, but extend the contract where there's less money in the front end and more in the back end, which means that either way it goes, even though you save money on the front end, you're still going to take a cap hit on the back end if you release these guys. So it's one of those things that you may just going to have to play the contract out and hope for that you can move some more pieces around to create some cap space. But you got to understand this. You got to really understand this. The Falcons are not far away of being champions. So they don't really need to overhaul this roster. They just need to put pieces in place that go along and with this roster that can escalate the play of these players to take them to where they need to go.
The Falcons, they did re-sign some players. They re-signed Younghoe Koo, and I don't want to mispronounce his name, Jacob Tuioti Mariner, the defensive tackle or lineman. They also re-signed wide receiver Christian Blake as well.
Right.
Do you see them freeing up more space to get a name safety, or are they going to bring back Keanu maybe after letting them test the free waters? What do you?
Well, I think there's still discussions with Keanu. I think there has to be. This is one of their franchise players. So I think there's still discussions with him. I think you may see him come back. I don't know what his market value is right now. So it may be less than what he wants it to be or what he's expected it to be. So the Falcons are letting him go out there, test the waters. If he don't like what he sees, he just come on back home. I can see that happening. Okay. And I can see him drafting a safety, which would help that secondary. But here's the interesting point is this. I wish we had more cap space because Aaron Jones is sitting out there. He's sitting out there on that island. And with this offense and with these receivers on the perimeter, oh my God, he will fit perfectly in what this offense is. Now, unless Arthur Smith is going to do the thing he did in the Tennessee Titans, pretty much ball control, passing attack, and use a 250-pound running back like Derrick Henry. But how many of those are out there that you can find that you can pound? So there's not many. Matter of fact, there's not another Derrick Henry.
I was about to say,
So, I don't know which way he's going yet. We won't know until summertime in the preseason what the identity of this offense is going to be.
Aaron Jones, for all you out there, he was not tagged by the Packers.
No.
However, I have heard that they do still intend on, like you said, Aaron Rodgers probably does not want to let him go. So they probably just didn't want to pay that one-time tag fee and work it out over.
There's a guy out there who's sitting out there and has no place to go, and that's Marlon Mack. In Indianapolis. He was their premier running back a couple of years ago. He had injury. They drafted a couple of running backs, and they stepped up and played well. And Marlon Mack is the odd guy out, and he's an unrestricted free agent now, which don't have a lot of wear and tear on his body. Here's a guy that can come in right away and be very productive for us.
I want to take a little brief step back for a moment because nobody sent in their team, their free agent team against Terrence's.
Oh, man.
And I just want to let you know, Terrence, your San Antonio Rough Riders are depleted now.
Oh, man. You know what? Look, I'm like, oh, my God, they all. I should have put backups. Right now, I'm waiting to this free agency. I'm waiting for this week to end before I revamp my free agent, my San Antonio Rough Riders. Because right now,
your starting QB went out.
My QB is gone. So I got to look somewhere else. Look, my offensive line has been depleted.
Yeah.
Oh my God, if you look at this offensive line, sure, from the Washington football team resigned, and it looks like Joe Thuney from the Pats is going to resign.
Yeah.
The Patriots. So it looks very very bad right now.
Yes. So what's next for Atlanta? I mean, we got a few days before free agency. So do you expect to see any more people get their contract restructured? I would say in the day of the taping, it's Friday. So I'm assuming by the end of the day, maybe we'd get another person restructured. Because when does it begin? Monday or Tuesday? I believe.
I think is it the 17th? I think it's Tuesday night, Wednesday morning.
Okay.
Something like that. They have some time. Okay. And I'm sure they're talking to a lot of agents right now. You know, at the end of, you never ever, my thing is, we always say in the business, you can't worry about somebody else's wallet. Don't talk about other people's money. It's not your money, it's their money. They made the money, so whatsoever. So I don't want to sit here and talk about what a player should do with his money, because it's wrong. But if I'm in year 11, 12, 13, and I've pretty much accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish in the NFL except for win a Super Bowl, played in a Super Bowl, whatsoever. I think, for me, there would have to be some restructuring of my deal, even if it's on the back end, to help us reach that now, because my years are numbered. I'm just year by year now.
Yeah.
So I want to walk away with the Lombardi Trophy. So me personally, I'm just speaking on me. I'm not speaking for anybody else. Me personally, I think I would have to say, hey, what do you need me to do to help us salary cap wise? Because I've done it before, after the Super Bowl year. Actually, it was in 2000. We had some problems in the cap area, and I said, hey, I'll do whatever you ask me to do, whatsoever. It says, hey, we'll think about it. We'll call your agent. Blah, blah, blah. So we decided not to do it because they found other methods of doing it. But I think, sometimes you got to do what you feel best for the franchise and to help yourself win a Super Bowl. Okay,
so there are situations where a player does on their own go to the organization and say, hey, I'm here. If y'all need to do anything, let me know.
Yeah, and I'm sure some players probably have done that across the league.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Falcons and their players, but at the end of the day, people got to understand is that we're so close, and we've been so close for the last 2 or 3 years. That's probably why it's so frustrating. And the thing is, we always try to blame our downfalls and why we can't go further on the quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's funny because, he has to be protected. They got to run the football. They got to catch the football. They got to stop people whatsoever. He got to be put in positions to be productive whatsoever. So it's not like he puts together the game plan. He calls all the plays. He snaps the ball. He protects. He hands off. He throws balls and he catches it. He doesn't do all that.
He definitely doesn't play defense, and that was a
definitely
big
doesn't play defense. So at the end of the day, that's why they say the Atlanta Falcons football team. They don't say the Atlanta Falcons football team and Matt Ryan. It's a team. Right. So everybody has their role, their job, and they take the blame and they take the accolades too.
Definitely. Well, no one sent in any questions this week. So fans, I need y'all to send in your questions, or if you got a comment for Terrence, please make sure you send them in. You got a throwback for us this week, Terrence?
You know what? I as I was preparing for this, we talked about last week leadership. We talked about uh, uh, the Super Bowl with the incident at the Super Bowl, but the the incident to get us to the Super Bowl was the kick that was heard around the world. Morton Anderson in overtime. Hey man, you talking about a team? See, that team was a magical team. We were so close. We were so bonded. We did things together. We watched Monday Night Football together. The groups would go to dinner together on Friday nights. We laugh, we joke. It was an amazing group. The
Cool.
wives got along, the kids got along. So when Morton was lined up for that kick, everyone was holding hands. There were a group of people praying. There were people on their knees whatsoever. There were people that couldn't look, this and that. I wanted to watch it. I wanted to watch the whole thing. I prayed a little bit like, Lord Jesus, like, please let him make this kick. And then I looked up, you heard the thump, thump, and you watched it go. Oh my God, pandemonium. Guys crying, guys running in a circle, don't know what to do. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl. It was amazing, man. It was amazing. I got to the locker room, went in my locker, fired up me a cigar, held the NFC championship trophy on my lap, and sat there and had me a nice smoke, man. It was, oh man. And see, that's the thing you stay hungry for. You stay hungry for, because once you go to the Super Bowl, you always want to go back. And the thing is, every season is different. Mm-hmm. And one player or two players make a difference. People say, oh, no, they make a difference. Either you bring someone in or someone steps up and become better the following year to help the team go back.
Do you remember at that moment what player you looked at and was like, can you believe it? Or
No, I was just running the circle too. I was like, who do I hug? Who? Everybody jumping, everybody running around. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. Everybody jumping on top of each other. I just remember running to the middle of the field with my helmet, holding my helmet up, doing like that. And that's all I remember until, they brought the podium out whatsoever. It was just joy, man.
Did y'all get a chance to greet the Vikings after, or it was just pandemonium?
No, they were gone.
They were gone?
They were gone, dude. They were sore losers, man. They were sore losers. They were gone. I think some of them stuck around.
But Randy or none of them came over?
No. Matter of fact, they didn't even shake hands before the game.
Oh, man.
I knew they were upset afterwards.
Oh, yeah. Dang. Great throwback memory, Terrence. Appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yeah.
Again, everybody, make sure that you always tune in and make sure you subscribe. You never know what you're going to miss. It's only getting crazier, and it's only going to get crazier during free agency and this draft upcoming. So please make sure you tune in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man, y'all have a blessed week.